Hey guys, we got some really hardcore manifestation energy back on the table again today and this week, and actually, really throughout this next lunar cycle, this Aquarius new moon that we're in right now. Unlimited possibilities, you guys. We're in energy for creating miracles, for making our dreams into reality, for building our vision of the future in a tangible and truly physically manifested way. Very much so, building energy with a forward, future oriented direction behind it. Let's talk about what we have going on energetically today. There are several planets in conjunction. There's quite a bit of astrology to talk about. So let's get into it. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. And yeah, it's like a really kind of a big deal, the energy that we're in right now in terms of this supercharged manifestation energy. It's like if you do research into the law of attraction and how manifestation in this paradigm, in this reality really works, you will discover that essentially all of the significant aspects of it are also being represented by the planetary pairs that we have in the cosmos right now. And it's also very interesting to me that we have this energy going on at this point in time in the context of what else is unfolding at this point in time. Because we just had our new moon in Aquarius that began on February 1st. Now, the new moon in Aquarius, this is really, this entire year has been a transitional year into the age of Aquarius on a frequency-based, energetic, vibrational level. A lot of the stuff that we've been seeing happening in our lives is a result of that transition. And the new moon in Aquarius is very much a fundamental part of that transitional process because it is really like immersing us in these new vibrations that we are transitioning into just by its nature of the sun and the moon activating in the sign that we are all collectively moving into on a vibrational level, not to mention the other aspects that were involved, the Saturn-Uranus square and that stuff. But also, in congruence to the numerology that's been going on, we are in the year 2022. We're in a 222 year. That's the baseline numerology for our year, right? And 222 is also a really significant angel number and just holds a lot of numerological value in terms of soul alignments and true love and true fulfillment and abundance derived from that fulfillment and emotional fulfillment, balance, inner peace, all of that type of stuff, soulmates, all of that type of stuff being represented by this 222 number. And I find it to be very interesting because we just began the 222 month essentially of our 222 year when we started our month of February on February 1st. And that also corresponded to the day that we had our new moon in Aquarius. Now, this new moon in Aquarius, this is like I've been describing, if you've been following my work, sort of like the Great Awakening cycle of this entire year of Great Awakening that we have been enduring and experiencing. And I just find it to be really interesting that that correlated exactly with the beginning of our 222 month for this year. And I say that specifically because I've been noticing, I do these energetics every day. You guys know, we talk about it, but I've been noticing, and if you've been following along, I'm sure you've been noticing too, that whenever there are sequences of twos or 222 specifically, or yeah, just like groupings of twos that are present in the numerology of, any given day, or even in terms of the numerology that is presenting as I'm analyzing the chart via degree placements and stuff like that, that is also correlating to some type of significant or critical energetic activation that is occurring as well, that is actually really an intricate part of this transitional process energetically, vibrationally into the age of Aquarius. So I've been noticing a correlation between the numerology being represented through these 222s and also significant activations in our energetic transition from an astrological perspective into these Age of Aquarian frequencies and vibrations that this year has really been all about. So the fact that we have this new moon in Aquarius, the Great Awakening cycle, lunar cycle of our Great Awakening lunar year lining up specifically with the 222 numerology in this 222 year, it's really making me feel like this entire astrological lunar cycle with the new moon in Aquarius is also holding some very critical value in terms of our individual personal evolution into these new vibrations, into this new energy. So, and it's really started off with a bang. I don't get too far ahead of myself really ever when I'm looking at these energetics. I kind of take it on a day by day, and then maybe I'll look out into the future if there's like some big stuff coming just to see how it plays into what's unfolding on a daily basis. But it really feels like this month is going to be so heavy hitting in terms of the changes that are happening both internally, which we've had, these retrogrades that were present for the new moon itself, and now turning direct. And I just feel like this month is going to be really significant in this process that is going on inside of us and that we are actually starting to manifest and outwardly express right now in our path into the Age of Aquarius, which is also lining up with some significant dates along these same 222 lines that are coming in the future as we close out this year in our astrological lunar calendar and head towards the 2022 new moon in Aries that will begin in April. So a lot of that being said, it makes sense that there would be so much of this manifestation energy going on alongside of it, because it's like this, we're in it right now. Like, that's sort of why I labeled my new moon in Aquarius report taking flight, because it's like we're really in this energy right now, and we are really learning to sort of navigate and immerse ourselves with and interact with these new vibrations, really step into them and sort of begin embodying them in our lives, in our experience, in our attitudes, in our perspectives. And that is actually the process of how this happens, how we create it. We create the Age of Aquarius through this shift that goes on inside of us. And with everything that has to fall away so that we can come back into this authentic alignment with that original, organic, authentic, creative potential that we have inside of us, begin to cultivate that, nurture it, grow it, and then really tap into it and use it as our resource to fuel our progress forward, the things that we're building and the abundance that we're creating in our lives through the service that we're providing based on that genuine, authentic potential. A lot is having to fall away so that we can really align with that, rediscover it, tap into it, and begin to use it as that resource. But the flip side of that, and the amazing blessing that this period of time energetically is also bringing us, is the simultaneous ability to literally today and all month long, I feel like, because of these 222 vibrations and this new moon in Aquarius and just the aspects that we have going on, bring our visions into reality, like truly manifest our dreams. We're in energy right now of unlimited possibilities of, if you can dream it, if you can believe it, if you can see it, you can create it and you can manifest it. And we have so much galactic support right now for that process. And it's just being described by the placement of the planets. And I wanted to start sort of just by saying all of that, because I just feel like it just makes so much sense how everything is lining up right now in the context of the overall plan, how this blueprint is unfolding, what direction we're heading into, and the fact that no matter how difficult things might seem right now, we really have nothing to fear, because we're in a month of miracles. Like, that's really what this feels like to me. And the 222, the numerology and stuff would suggest that same thing as well. And so no matter what you're navigating right now, no matter how difficult or scary it might seem in this moment, just realize that the only thing that can sabotage us at this point in time is turning our back on our heart, essentially, and not looking at the truth of our feelings and what we truly hold inside of us and aligning with that. So that being said, let's get deeper into the specifics of the energy of what we have going on today. Like I said, we have the Venus and Mars in a conjunction in Capricorn. We have Mercury and Pluto in a conjunction in Capricorn. Mercury's retrograde, going to be going direct tomorrow. We have Saturn and the Sun in a very tight conjunction in Aquarius. They are within a 1-degree orb of each other right now. We have the Moon and Neptune together today. Again, we have another 4 groupings of pairs of planets, although they are not completely in a row today like they were yesterday. There's a little bit of a gap. And then we have Neptune and the Moon coming together. And Uranus is also in a trine to Venus and Mars in their conjunction, while the North Node in Taurus, remember, speaking of this building energy, this creating through our authentic potential, we also have the North Node in Taurus right now, which is speaking to our next phase of growth, being specifically regarding that, being able to tap into our authentic potential, use our own resources to create abundance, stability, security, material comfort for ourselves and our lives. While we release South Node in Scorpio, all of the fears and essentially the problems and the issues and the complex intertwinements and the shadow side issues of the past, so that we can go through this creative process. Let's see, I've kind of strayed from my notes today, so let's get back into it. All right, so a lot of significant things, as I was saying, are likely to be happening, today, even yesterday, all throughout this new moon in Aquarius cycle. And we just need to remain open to miracles and not be pulled into fear, because again, that is one of the only things that can hold back our potential at this point in time, is any tendency that we might have to fall into fear, because that is also what we will be creating, because this manifestation energy is so strong. It's really, really important that we have control over our thoughts, and that we are using the power of our mind, the power of our thoughts, the power of our words as well, properly at this point in time, or else we can be creating things that we don't really want to experience, and it will be for the purpose still of forcing us to break free from those negative thought patterns, because this energy right now is forcing us to break free from anything that is holding us back from achieving that authentic potential, that authentic truth. And, even if we're doing it to ourselves, it will bring us up against really difficult and tough circumstances until we can make those breakthroughs and start operating in this energy properly. We can make our dreams into reality. It's about transcending our difficulties and learning to fly on our own, based on this sense of self-empowerment that is also in the air right now to you guys. Don't forget, I've also been talking about how we are in a period of self-empowerment right now through, this entire cycle essentially, and the next cycle, the Pisces cycle as well. So we really are being put in situations to test our resolve and to force us to stand in our power and discover that we have strength inside of us, and that we have things inside of us that maybe we never even realized that we did, and now we do. And that in and of itself is empowering and triggers this ability to start tapping into this creative potential as well. We have a lot of bird symbolism going on today, you guys, through the Sabian symbols and the degree placement of the planets. It's also interesting, again, because we are in this Aquarian lunar cycle right now, and I felt like it was all about taking flight, and now here we are coming in and we have all of this bird symbolism going on today. We have the Sun today, again, in a 1-degree orb conjunction to Saturn at 15 degrees of Aquarius. This Sabian symbol is 2 lovebirds sitting on a fence singing happily, and that is pretty self-explanatory, but we'll talk about it in a minute. But I wanted to mention, for those of you who don't know what the Sabian symbols are, what they are is a group of symbols that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac, and they just essentially give us an extra layer of clarity, an extra layer of meaning for that specific degree placement, wherever a planet is, which can just help us to get a better, more clear interpretation of whatever aspect is going on with that planet being at that degree. So I always like to reference the Sabians alongside of interpreting aspects. Moving on, we also have, what else? We also have Mars today At 8 degrees of Capricorn, that Sabian symbol is birds in the house singing happily. So we have two lovebirds sitting on a fence singing happily, the position of the sun today, and we have birds in the house singing happily, the position of Mars today. Then we also have Pluto, 28 degrees of Capricorn. I should have mentioned this in my report yesterday. I don't know why I didn't for whatever reason, but this is the degree of the United States Pluto return, which we are also in that energy now, which is adding another layer of transformation, rebirth, and that revolutionary spirit in alignment with liberty, freedom, and authenticity. That's going on as well. But that degree placement, that Sabian symbol, is a large aviary, a place where birds are allowed to fly. And then we also have the black moon right now at 23 degrees of Gemini, 3 fledglings in a nest high in a tree. So we have 4 planets today that are talking about specifically birds. And 2 of the symbols are literally verbatim talking about the birds singing happily and whatever experience they have. Specifically talking Mars and the sun, talking about the birds singing happily the song of their heart. They learned to fly and they take joy in the expression of their authentic truth. It's like these birds are experiencing their happiest life, their true fulfillment. They're singing happily in their tree after having learned to fly and projecting to the world the song of their heart. That's sort of synonymous to what universe is calling us to do this cycle as well. And I also find it interesting, the progression, like the way that the symbols are coming out today in correspondence to the planet that is discharging them. Because we have 3 fledglings in a nest high in a tree. That's the black moon, right? So, and these are just fledglings. They haven't necessarily learned to fly yet. So there may be some shadow side fears over this process of having to leave the nest, of having to fly, of having to spread our wings and learn to use them and take flight, which again is what I was talking about sort of being the underlying theme of this astrological lunar cycle, if you saw my new moon video. And then we have Pluto at a large aviary. Now this is talking about, you know, birds being able to fly. However, they're still they're not totally free. They're still being constrained or held back in some type of a way. They can fly and they can move around, but they're still not living their best life, I guess you could say. And this is Pluto. Pluto is death and rebirth. And we have the South Node in Scorpio right now. This is what we're letting go of. We're letting go of and we're transforming any barricades or structures or mechanisms that have been preventing us from being able to not only fly, but actually soar to the heights that we truly have within us to reach our true potential, not just to exist on our bare minimum. And then we have the degrees of both Mars and the sun, both ruling our energy. So this is all of our energy is tied up in this today of two lovebirds, again, speaking of these divine unions and the soulmate energy that we have going on as well with the 222s sitting on a fence singing happily, the sun, and then Mars, birds in the house singing happily. So we've gone from these fledglings, the black moon, maybe some fears over if we can actually do it, to being able to fly, but being held back simultaneously in some way, purging, transforming, being reborn from that as well, with this being the degree of Pluto, to Mars and the sun actively expressing the truth of our soul, our spirit, what we need to thrive and to grow in this life, in this world. The sun and Mars, our energy body, our motivation, our courage, our inspiration, our passion, at being 2 lovebirds sitting on a fence singing happily, and then in the house singing happily, moving from the fence, from the aviary to the fence to the house. But by the end of the progression, when they're flying, when they're free, they're singing the song of their heart happily. And I really feel like that is a really cute way of sort of describing maybe the experiences that we might be dealing with today as we are going through this personal revolution right now, and as we are breaking out of our cages, and as we are learning to spread our wings and fly. But it's sort of telling us that there's like true love, two lovebirds singing on a fence, sitting happily, and like soul connection and soul tribe and emotional fulfillment aligned with what, the song of our heart. Like that is what is waiting for us once we truly are able to embrace the air and soar to these heights and really like get in with these Aquarian frequencies that are coming in, as we're also in this air energy, this cycle, transitioning to this air energy for this age. So again, like I just feel like the Sabians today are describing that in their own symbolic way. So there's definitely a lot of energy going on today, talking about freeing and liberating our mind. Also, air is representative of our mind, our thoughts, and we also have Mercury in the conjunction with Pluto right now, which is also retrograde, which is also breaking free from any type of mind control that has been keeping us out of our power, essentially, that we have going on with that as well. Breaking out of that cage, breaking free from that aviary so that we can go get on that fence with our lovebird and take it back to the house and really just be in our bliss. This is what it is talking about. And then, okay, so aside from the symbolism, let's also talk about the aspects that we have going on. Just like break them down a little bit, because we do have these 4 aspects that are going on as well today. We have the moon in Pisces. Okay, so let's talk about this though in the context of manifestation. So when we're manifesting, right, one of the most important things that we need to do is be able to use our imagination and envision deep within ourselves, in our mind's eye, our ideal or our fantasy or whatever experience, our dreams, whatever experience that we want to create in this reality. We have to first be able to imagine it. If you can see it, you can, or if you can believe it and see it, then you can create it. And so that's like the first essential part of manifestation, is being able to align in our minds, in our mind's eye, in our imagination, in our subconscious mind. It's not really about the conscious mind. It's more about the dream type part of our mind, our imagination, which is ruled by Neptune, and which is definitely ruled by Neptune in Pisces, okay? And that is part 1, a crucial part of the manifestation process, is that ability to envision and to imagine. And that is being brought to us today by the conjunction with the moon, our feelings, our internal environment, what's going on deep within us, and Neptune in Pisces, the dream world, emotionally aligned with our dreams and visions today in this energy, which is step 1 of the manifestation process. And then we have Venus and Mars together as well in Capricorn. This is insanely creative energy. I mean, this is the lovers coming together. This is fertilizing that vision, that creative idea, that fantasy, that dream, fertilizing it through an alignment with our heart and also our will and our passion and our desire to create and to bring this forth, with Venus and Mars together in Capricorn, the sign of manifesting, forming, and building. And then we have Mercury and Pluto together, talking about the power of our thoughts, the power of our mind, and how strong they are right now. Mercury and Pluto together is a very, very powerful mind, and it also gives a very strong ability to like penetrate really deeply into core issues and solve problems and resolve things, especially with Mercury having been retrograde, and see into the depths, see into the darkness, figure out what's been really going on and clear it out, and also, really align our minds and have a very strong capacity to use our minds with a powerful purpose. The power of our thoughts in alignment with this envisioning and this creative power being brought by Mars and Venus is the third aspect of this manifestation process. And then we have the Sun and Saturn in a 1-degree orb conjunction today as well, which will come exact tomorrow when Mercury also moves retro or moves direct and Venus finally begins moving forward. Tomorrow is going to be a big day for moving forward with our future goals and plans for sure. Things are likely to start falling into place in possibly some unexpected but very straightforward ways tomorrow. But for today and this week, all week with Saturn and the Sun together, this is like hardcore energy for making future plans, for working on them, for really like getting down to work in a very focused, diligent, like hard, lots of effort way to lay foundations, to build structures, to start to form, to start to manifest, to make these plans, to make these blueprints, to make these strategies, putting all of our effort and energy into it. And that hard work, that's the last piece of the puzzle. So the energy, the way that it's presenting right now in the context of this cycle that we are in and this transitional period that we are in and what it's leading us to and what we are leaving behind as we go through it, is just supporting us so much in being able to build going forward. And then just to like top it off, I find this to be so synchronistic as well. We also have had the North Node for the new Moon in Aquarius, and also for, yesterday, this 222 energy, and today, this all, just opening this month, the North Node, destiny, the evolutionary path, where we're going, what we need to learn and grow into, the next lesson plan that universe is providing for us, is at the Sabian symbol, two cobblers sitting at a table working side by side. And with all of these pairings of planets, like the amount of creative potential that we have right now to either co-create with God and universe just in and of ourselves through that divine pairing and manifest our dreams into reality, or to literally be working with one other person who is really a divine balance for whatever job needs to be done to manifest and build something for these same reasons in alignment with this authentic truth and this full soul fulfillment. It's speaking all about this. And we also have the North Node right now in the trine to Pluto and in the trine to Mercury, again talking about this transformative process that we are undergoing in terms of our thoughts and the mental empowerment that we're coming into, being directly related in the trine to this work that we are doing either with spirit or someone else right now that is really laying these foundations based in this authentic creative potential that is paving the path of the road that we will be walking going forward, that will lead to this ultimate sense of abundance and love and connection and fulfillment because of all of these twos that are being represented simultaneously through the numerology and the significance that holds in telling us. And also this being a 6 year as well, the number of love, telling us that no matter the difficulties, the pain, the loss that we may be experiencing now, what is to come at the end of this process is a level of emotional fulfillment that we may have never experienced or even thought possible before, as we are very much right now also in a year of lost opportunities and unlimited possibilities coming to us and being possible once again in ways that, again, we probably never thought that they were or that they could have been. It is a year of miracles. It is a cycle of miracles, and it is a year of miracles. I cannot stress that enough. So we definitely need to keep that in mind and not fall into fear and begin creating out of the darkness. We need to be creating out of the light and out of the faith. And we are so supported in that process. Like, it is really so crazy the way that these aspects, the way that across the board, the synchronicity of these pages in our constantly unfolding book of blueprint, our cosmic blueprint, really interesting chapter that we're in right now. It was really put together quite well. Magical. So again, though, pairs, couples, partners, soulmates, twin flames, divine unions, true love, and working together with another person on something. This energy is not making me feel like it's groups. It's definitely making me feel like it's partners, like it's one other person, like it's pairs of people, it's couples of people that are doing this together at this point in time, or it's coming into contact with another person. This does not mean at all, like in a romantic capacity, although for sure it could be, but just like divine alignments, like soul companions, soulmates, like the right person at the right time coming into your life for the right reason. Like, this is the type of thing that is going on right now. And I'm glad, because honestly, I think we all could probably use a little bit of emotional support by somebody who, like, genuinely and authentically is in it just for this connection and not to take anything, or, with no ulterior motives or anything like this. These just genuine soul-based connections where it's a mutual beneficial situation and true, like, love can be experienced, whether it be just in the form of friendship or like partnership, business dealing, or whatever. But definitely a sense of some really true, like, heart-based connections coming in this this cycle. And again, we have the North Node at that degree, which just blows my mind as well, because it is, again, about these two people working harmoniously towards a goal, or again, our spirit, like us co-creating with God and divine. Beautiful, beautiful vibes today with Neptune and the moon together. And just this energy. I just love this energy. There is obviously a very rough edge to it, but for the most part, it is doing a lot to help us move in a better direction. It's probably challenging, Sun and Saturn, Mercury, Pluto, but we can really, really create and form, build, manifest divinely inspired, beautiful creations for our future in this energy. So that's what I have for my report today. Really feels like a magical day to me. I love this energy. It just really feels like miracles are on the way. So let's talk about the tarot for a quick second. This was really funny. I was shuffling, asking God, what the collective message was to clarify the energy going on right now. What do we need to know? I got 4 cards that came out together, like in a row. And this is how they came out. We got, and don't be alarmed. It's really saying a very, very basic, simple message. But we got the Queen of Swords in reverse. We got the Empress in reverse. We got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And normally you don't ever want to see this. But then we had the Page of Cups upright. And on the back of the deck, we had the 3 of Cups. And so really what this energy is saying in sort of like a uncomfortable way, but it's really a basic message. It's like, if you look at this card, this guy right here, he's like looking directly into this cup in his hand, and it has a fish in it, and he's fine with that. He's accepting it for what it is. He's comfortable with it. He's like, I got a fish in my cup. It's cool. I don't care who sees it. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And basically what this message is telling us is that as long as we can do this, we don't really have to worry so much about these things. The only reason why we might have to worry about, lack of love, lack of partnership, lack of connection, lack of happiness, lack of fulfillment, lack of abundance, lack of being able to say what's on our truly on our mind, is if we're neglecting to look at who we really are inside, is if we're neglecting the authentic truth of ourselves. And we got the 3 of Cups on the back of the deck. This is a divine, joyful reunion. This is coming together. This is abundance, celebration, togetherness. This is 222, you know what I mean? Even though it's in the 3 of Cups, it's still talking about a union, a celebration, a reunion, coming together, and happiness, fulfillment. And so basically these cards are just telling us that as long as we are neglecting who we truly are inside, our life is going to be upside down. But the moment that we can get in alignment with that and stop being afraid of who we truly are, afraid to show it off to the world, show the world that fish in our cup and be fine with it, that is when we get all of the happiness that is meant to come to us. Now let's look at our synchronicity card for the day. This says don't overdo, you guys. It says, do not worry about what you shall eat. We got this card recently, Luke 12:27. If you have a problem with appetite, be it food or any other thing, be not concerned. Thank God for removing the desire to overdo in the consumption of any food or any other appetite. So that is the advice from the synchronicity card today. We need to watch overdoing things, which with all this Pluto energy, compulsion can also be a thing. So that's probably some good advice as well. But that's what I have for my report today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was able to provide something valuable for you. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they'd be interested, leave me comments. You guys, I really love your comments. Facebook page, Facebook group, if you're interested in that, and come back tomorrow. We got some more big energy going on. We got a big weekend, Mercury direct, Sun, Saturn, and a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. Have a beautiful day, you guys. I will